Back on the Bulldog Sports Network and talking with head coach Jeff Pierce. Coach, your team returns home this Saturday to take on Indianapolis. Talk a little bit about the Indianapolis matchup.
Well, Indianapolis is a very good football team. Right now they're up at the top of the standings, and they've been playing very good football this year. And we know that we've got our hands full, but they're very similar to a lot of the other teams that we've been playing through this stretch. And they're a football team that we can beat if we play and do the things that we have to do and play to the level that we have to play to.
In terms of bouncing back from last week's loss, what are some of the things your team has been focused on this week in practice heading into this game?
Well, last weekend was very disappointing. We played a very good football team, and Grand Valley's back up on their feet and stuff like that, and we did not play well. I mean, we really had to be on in all phases of the game to have an opportunity in that football game, and we weren't. It's disappointing, but what you have to do is you have to take that frustration and disappointment, you have to put it into a positive direction and go into the next opponent and get after it. And I see that in our guys. There's a lot of battle in this football team, it was hard, and we're bouncing, we're back on our feet. We've had a good week of practice. We're going through some challenges with injuries and things like that, and we're going to have some young players that are going to be playing in certain spots, and that was kind of our issue a little bit last week, that we're dealing with, and that's what happens when you go through the final stretch of the season.
In terms of the conference in the North Division, 5 teams within a game of each other, and really for your team, still a lot to play for with 3 games left here and a chance to get to 8 wins on the year.
Oh, no question about it. And one of our things that we focused on, from the very beginning is about finishing each play and finishing each game and finishing the season, and right now, we've been playing pretty good football, and we've had our moments and stuff like that, and we've got a lot in front of us right now, and we've got 3 very good football teams in front of us as we go through this final stretch, and we need to finish strong, and we need to go into this Indianapolis game and get the thing back on track and get clicking, and take them one at a time, and battle through this final stretch.
Last game against Indianapolis before they leave the conference to go on to the Great Lakes Valley Conference. I know it's been a good rivalry over the years, and talk a little bit about the fact that you're playing Indianapolis maybe for the last time here.
Well, that's kind of disappointing because there's a lot of history that have gone into that rivalry or that game over all the years, and the coaches that are coaching at Indianapolis, and Joe Plitzy, who had been there before, I've known personally for as long as I've been in the business, and they have a very strong football program, and they've done well over the past, and I hate to see them leave the conference because I think it's a good competitive team, and maybe we'll get an opportunity to play them in the future, as far as non-conference games or things as they work out.
In terms of Indianapolis, I know last year was a close game down in Indianapolis. What do you know about the Greyhounds coming into this matchup?
Well, Indianapolis has a very potent offense. They have very talented skill players. They have a couple receivers that are putting up great numbers, and their quarterback that's making it happen. We faced him last year, and he played very well against us last year. So, they have the potential of putting points up on the board and doing things, and we just have to really control the line of scrimmage. We've got to win those battles, and up front, we've got to be able to get pressure on the quarterback and not give him all day, to make things happen. Them defensively, very similar type of style defense that we run, which kind of helps us a little bit. Our guys are able to get a little bit back in their comfort zone because we go against our own guys, through spring ball and early camp and things like that. So, there's not a lot of wrinkles that you have to work on that are unique during the course of the week to get ready. But they're a very good football defensive team. They run to the football quite well. They're up front 7 guys. A majority of those guys all played against us last year. They're a little bit young in their secondary, but the one thing, they play sound fundamental football, and they can run. They run to the football. So, we just have to do our thing and execute and, get back on track, with taking advantage of every opportunity that they allow us to take advantage of.
You're back at home. It'll be Kids Day. Another nice crowd expected at Top Taggart Field. It's going to be a nice feeling to play back in front of the home fans.
Oh, it sure is. And it's going to be nice to be back home, and back in our comfort zone. Last week it was a little different. They try to make it very difficult to play down in Allendale with the different things going on, and stuff like that. So it's going to be kind of refreshing to come back home, and hopefully that'll give us a little bit of a confidence boost because we played very well at home, this season so far, and we're planning on continuing to keep that up this week. And John Coles has done a nice job with different activities that around promotions of the games, and this is around kids and stuff like that, and that's very important because that's what this thing is all about, creating that positive image for young kids that are growing up to want to be a student athlete someday, maybe at the college level, and get it done.
Coach, best of luck against the Greyhounds.
Thank you.
This has been Ferris State Football on the Bulldog Sports Network.